I bet you thought I was in Spirit Box first. No, actually, the band I've been the most long-standing fan of that have released music today would be The Plot and You, and their latest album, Swan Songs, is looking to be an interesting one. They had changed directions a little bit to a more Bring Me the Horizon-esque alt-rock, electronic rock sound with Dispose. However, it appears that this latest album, if the lead single Face Me is anything to go off of, is kind of combining elements of everything. And that, I want to see how far they take it. I want to see if they go really heavy at any point. I want to see if they go into crazy new directions. I heard the other singles are similar, but I've not actually listened to them yet. So without further ado, let's check it out. My name is Sai, and this is Swan Songs. Could I have that thing up? So far, I'm really liking the different electronic elements. They are not like housey or dubsteppy or anything like that. They're very interesting and unique. Ooh. Emotional symphonic bit. Nice explosive intro there. Okay, we're getting some doom elements in here. Getting a little dark, a little bleak. So I mean, it's getting heavier. Bringing back those screams. Gonna pop. Gonna go off. Lyricism is as visceral as ever, man. Ooh, we're off to a gnarly start. Let's go. Fall again. Ooh, they're fucking popping. Let's go. End me. Ooh, they're ending me. Coming. Okay, I'm loving a lot of the stuff going on right now. I'm loving the mixed scream singing choruses making a huge return. The aggression has such a great tone to it. Nice mixing. Very just raw and powerful in that mix. Alright, Face Me, we already heard this. But I don't have reactions, so I can talk about it. I can't even. And this is the first sign of that heaviness, and I gotta tell you, so far what I've seen, this doesn't do it justice. This is kitty talk so far. So I do still really like the mixing of the screens in this part. Again, this really showcases that rawness. Very, very much sticking to the high end. There's a really big high pass filter on it. It causes it to sound much more distorted and gritty. It's almost like fuzzing in your ear. There's not a whole lot of bassiness to it, which is, I mean, it's cool. It gives it more raw emotion sounding. Less intimidating, more emotion. Yeah. Alright, back into uncharted territories we go. I think I've been too hard on myself. Slowing it down. Nice. Okay. I'm liking the diversity. Pretty sure those vocals are synth, those background vocals. It's a nice touch. One thing I've admired that ever since Happiness to Self-Destruction is these guys have a sort of aversion to just sounding normal, don't they? He's very cinematic. Feeling. Little radio action here, huh? What you up to? Nice viber. I should read some of the lyrics and maybe pull some of the emotion out. Okay, he'll just do it for me. That's fine. Nice mix of an all-new pop sound into a nice screaming tone there. Very good. The one thing that Landon is really good at doing with his vocals is screaming high, like just like belting a scream out there. Almost heavenly, but it's a scream, you know what I mean? And it really creates a unique sound that I don't feel like a lot of bands really harness. Now, I will say on the flip side, Landon is the clear standout here. There's some cool drum stuff going on, but it's nothing that can't necessarily be programmed, if that makes sense. There's not a whole lot of like unique experimentation going on. I feel like this is very much the Landon show. And I feel like that's been a lot of modern plot. This sounds a little chaotic, okay. Honestly, like, even just without the, like, outright screams, I'm just liking his use of screamed, sung vocals a little bit more here. That mixed fry really just adds so much to his voice. And he has a great singing voice on the other songs, but I just feel like, on the other album, but I just feel like just punches just right here. I like this fusion of those two sounds. They're not going back to, like, the really gritty, kind of gnarly heaviness that he had in his early career, but it's still a refreshing unison of this half of the career. Surrounded by noise here. Interesting. Ooh, like southern riff, okay? Prove me wrong, instrumental. Let's go. Whew. Oh, that track is a standout by far. My God, that breakdown is amazing. Damn, I love that riff. And that did some of the hair out. We can kind of get this a little bit sussed back into place here. Oh yeah, you fucked up now. It's a sign of a good album. When we're fucked, we're good. I love it. Even on these slower, kind of more vibey, more pop-inflected songs, we're still bringing that intensity of the vocal, which is notable. This is a much more intense album than Dispose was. Dispose did have its, like, you know, low moments and a little heavier moments, but I feel like just a lot more just outright anguish shouting here. You know what I mean? A lot more high-pitched, yeah, vocals. Interesting filter on those female vocals. I will say that this song, despite I'm liking the intensity, I'm liking the emotion, I like the lyricism, it's still not my favorite on the album for sure. This is, I would actually classify this as a skip, for sure. It's like a really nice sound, but which leaves us with 4 more. Too heavy. Is it gonna be heavy? It's gonna be soft, isn't it? Go and do a Linkin Park. You're gonna do a soft song called Heavy. Bet. Watch. Watch it. What happened? Got those posty trills there. Interesting. Heard a little bit of that on his self-titled. By the way, I was right. Woo! Hit those falsies. Build it. But how are we gonna manifest? We're gonna manifest heavy or we're gonna manifest soaring? Or neither. Okay, so far, I'm really admiring the musicianship. I will say, though, a lot of these songs are not going to be daily drivers on my playlist, that's for sure. But, like, I dig them, and I dig where they're going with it, but I feel like, I'm not sure, actually. I've heard this song before. I'm not sure how they make it, but I've heard this song before in some music. More ethereal, melodic, kind of R&B-ish stuff. Feel the defeat, grace. I can feel your skin. That's something more of a vibe here, but more like a straightforward vibe, not like mixing the elements as much here, which I'm digging. This is a little bit more on the new side for them. I like the progression of the chorus so far. It's really on the bridge. It's on the bridge to lose this song or to win it really hard. Ooh, almost like Genji instruments there. Ooh, that's weird. It's like crackling and shifting through your ears as if I'm like half unplugging my headphones. Okay. Yeah, I like this song. This song definitely bringing it back in a little bit. And mid-section's a little bit of a slump, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay. You're coming down the wire. What you gonna do with these last two songs? Like in this intro here, this is different. Like in the very low-key synthy bass. A little bit more dystopian sounding. Is that building or is that just there for texture? Nope, it's there. Fucking high shriek, dude. Alright, last song. Damn, that fucking went hard as shit. It's another album highlight there. No, I will find it does not alleviate my major complaint about the album. So keeping that in mind, let's end this off and see where we end off as far as score. Those trills again. I love those little vibrato trills. Cyberpunk, let's go. Electronic, I'll go out on this album saying that one thing. The electronic use here is really unique, even as far as metalcore goes. They're really playing with elements that don't usually find its way in here. Very strange elements. And the other thing I'll go out on is Landis' performance is fucking awesome. That's fucking monstrous, dude. Fade? Wait, we're really gonna just hit that fucking hard and fade it with a little bit of vocal? Shit, dude, I loved that part, but kind of wasted, honestly. Shit, okay. Yeah, so that was Swan Song, and let's talk about it. That was Swan Song by Plot New, and I confess it's a little bit on the disappointing side, but I wouldn't say it's a bad album at all. I'd say it's actually a good album. We're gonna start that off just real quick before people start clicking off, freaking out. It was a good album. I enjoyed it. There were parts of it that I didn't quite enjoy, I'm not gonna lie. There are some elements that I definitely think could have been performed much better, but they weren't. And we're gonna talk about those primarily, I think. Real quick, we'll run over the good stuff really quick again, though. The songwriting here is kind of better than Dispose, also kind of not. We'll talk about that. Landon's performance, as always, is outstanding. Landon's lyricism, as always, outstanding. Very raw, emotional, powerful. Definitely feeling more power with his added screams here, and the fact that he isn't going overboard with them, but he did use them a lot more than I expected, which was interesting. So it isn't just like a breakdown gimmick, you know what I mean? It's definitely got some substantive weight as far as thematics go and songwriting go. The other thing I really like is the electronic experimentation. They used a lot of electronic experimentation to create some like very dark club vibes over on Dispose, and that kind of same unique take on electronics in metal is showcased here. There's a lot of weird glitchy effects, a lot of very interesting house instruments being put to use in a way that they're not normally used, especially in this genre. So it was really cool to see all those different elements. And again, like towards the end, there are moments where the instruments really do shine. I would definitely say Freed and Paradigm are great examples of just some really great guitar work. But overall, that's going to be where we start the disappointments. Instrumentally, this song, as far as outside of the electronics go, is really, this album's not that interesting. Paradigm definitely has the most interesting riffs out of the whole thing. Drum work, a lot of it's very textured use, so nothing too like crazy or out there. I definitely think the restraint works to a certain point, but it comes off like this is like another Landon Tours solo project, which I know he's like the primary component of the band, but it still would be nice to get something a little bit different out of the band. That being said, when they do pop off, they pop off really hard. The bluesy, southernish riff on Paradigm is really memorable, especially with the placement of it. Again, that fucking really heavy, dominating riff on Freed is amazing. However, I do feel like there's nothing really carried out with it. Like, it's just there. There's a little bit of singing over it, and then it's kind of just left out to dry, and the song just kind of pitters out from there, which was a little bit of a letdown. And I just feel like overall, like, I enjoyed it. I definitely liked a lot of elements of it, but I feel like it's sagging a little bit. It definitely feels still like it's completely the Landon Tours show, which is fine because Landon Tours is a great vocalist and great at putting together emotion and writing songs and all that. But I do feel like here, especially on the midsection, there is some slumping in the songwriting. The midsection in particular, like I said, the poppy elements are not like necessarily bad, but I feel like the middle chunk, there's a lot of just outright pop songs, and even when they do bring in like screamed elements, I do feel like they're kind of playing it almost safe. It's very interesting. It's hard to kind of describe, but I definitely feel like there's some cool elements here, but compared to the best cuts on this album, which come in the beginning and the end of the album, there's a little bit to be desired as far as like structure and uniqueness go. I definitely felt like there was a lot of skipping to be had, and in a 35-minute album with a lot of skipping, that's going to bring it down a little bit. That being said, like, none of these songs are outright bad, and these are definitely enjoyable. They're just not something I'm going to go back to and listen to over and over again and be like, whoa, this is amazing. And the other thing is the lyricism is a little harder for me to get behind here. I do like the way he writes, and I do like the kind of very forward and yet poetic kind of wordplay here. It's very forward. It is very forward. There's a lot of just really raw retelling of emotion. However, the problems here, I think, are like the subject matter. The album cover is 2 people in bed, and I think the subject matter is very much pertaining to more like romance and some mental problems as well. But I feel like that doesn't quite hit as hard as maybe the subject matter on happiness and self-destruction. Now, this is a double-edged sword, because it's a good thing, because the Happiness and Self-Destruction is an incredibly sad album. It's a very bleak album. It's a very dark album, and to see that the band members are in a better place now is a good thing. It's a nice thing, but it doesn't make for as compelling of a listen, if that makes sense. So I'm not like saying, oh man, I wish they were depressed again. It's more along the lines of, oh man, that just doesn't hit quite with the same oomph as they did before. You know what I mean? But it's still like leagues better than some of the older, cringier content, like I hate you and your stupid fucking tattoos and shit like that. So I'll definitely take this over some of that. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot more I really have to say on this album. Like, I mean, I dig it. It's fine. It's a good album. But it really definitely isn't going to be on Best of the Year, which is a little shocking, because I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking this album was gonna be really like the album to really elevate New Plot to higher echelon. It's definitely not, though. I'd even say I did like Dispose a little bit more overall than this. But yeah, past that, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it over to you guys. What'd you think? Let me know down in the comments below. As for me, this album gets a 7 out of 10. This is a high 7, but it's still 7 out of 10. High 7, low 8. Like I said, it's a good album, but it's definitely not blowing my mind, and there's too much of the music that I'd probably hop over for me to really give it much of a higher score. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out of this. If you like the album, obviously go support the artist. Go check it out down below. Streaming links and all that shit are gonna be down there, as well as my own personal links for social media and Twitch and Discord server. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys. For the rest of the albums coming out this week and next week, bear with me a little bit. It's going to be slow coming. Obviously, this is probably not coming out till at least a week after the releases, but hopefully we'll get through them a little bit quicker than some of my other releases have been. That being said, there's a lot going on Twitch, and there's a lot going on Twitch, and there's a lot going on this side. So, it is not going to be the fastest in the world. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.